G'day guys, how's it going? Welcome back of course to the Time Bomb channel, and I hope all is good in your part of the world. Watch review today of the RZE UTD 8000 Ultrahex Titanium Digital. This watch is cast in probably some of the best watch packaging that I've seen in a very long time. Huge amounts of fun. This watch is resistant to water, dust, corrosion, scratches, shocks, vibrations, and any other inappropriate advances that your watch might have to endure. There's the watch. It looks really very cool, but as I say, just another quick shout to this packaging. It's so nice to see something just a little bit different, and that is screaming out to me, use me in the shed to tidy up all those screws and washers and other general mess that's lying around on the top. Just before I get into the specs, this one has been lent into the channel by the lovely people over at First Class Watches. I mean, just chapeau to them for being able to add RZEs as another brand offering for us here in Europe, UK. I just think that's fantastic. They're adding more and more, growing and growing. Please do mention the Time Bomb channel if you head over there after watching this, because they'll really appreciate that. Let's zoom in and look at some specs. All right, a little bit more up close and personal. These retail currently at £225 here in the UK, and that to me is just a brilliant price for any titanium watch. These are 40. They sell them as 42 mils across, but I'm getting slightly less because that's at the base of the watch, and it does narrow a little bit towards the bezel, where I think it's probably a little bit closer to 40 mils. It's around 13 and a smidge mils deep. It's 50 mils north to south, but it doesn't wear like a 50 mil. I'll throw it on wrist to show you what I mean in a minute, and that's really to the very ends of those little lugs. In fact, why don't I do that now while I'm talking? Quite an innovative little strap as well here. Let me just throw it on and show you. Yeah, so there it is on my 7.25 inch wrist, and as I say, that doesn't wear like a 50 miller. It comes up much shorter, and with this strap as well, you're able to really get a nice tight cinch. Nice to see Velcro hook and loop in use. Used to wear loads of watches as a kid on that, and loved it for many years. Yeah, it can get a bit smelly, but it's also washable. It just hugs the wrist and keeps that, and as I say, that wrist print to me, and because it's so light, God, it feels like absolutely nothing on wrist. A delight. Really nice. You get around, so you've got 200 meters of watery goodness, and they claimed approximate around 3 years of battery life on this module that they're using here. More on that in a second. The best way to describe, I wanted to, the wrist print, it sort of feels a little bit like a field watch, but a digital version of that. Nice departure perhaps from digital squares. It's a grade 2 titanium, which is sort of matte sandblasted and looks excellent. I think you then get a flat sapphire up top, not mineral as you find on many Casios. I first saw these watches in person at the Watch It Watch Fair, and loads of people were picking them up and gravitating towards them. I think they're just very good looking and very well spec'd, and as I say, price wise as well, I think it works good. I think I like the 3 split section of the LCD screen there. In the negative version though, I don't think you need me to tell you, it's not that visible. It's possibly slightly better outside, but I really don't, it's not as clear, for example, as the a MIPS display or the AE 1500 of the Casio, which have got far better negative displays. It reads okay, but if it was me and I was buying one of these, I would definitely plump for one of the positive displays. I just think it's going to be so much clearer. You may have seen there between the bezel and the case body, there's that yellow sliver. That's aluminium, and it's kind of like an extra layer of your pastrami, providing further eye candy and a focal point. And again, so it just mirrors nicely the frame of the LCD and then your strappage here, and that's the different on each of the colorways that these come in. You can see what I'm talking about here by that exploded out view of the construction. I kind of like looking at these. It helps understand where the robustness comes from, the intricacies of the layering. Yeah, that's a little bit of the nerd in me. Onto the dial. I mean, although the bezel essentially, I mean, I'm not sure that I need titanium at the top there. I mean, I would have been quite happy with UTD 8000 or even, you know, RZE, but again, I'm not the designer. The module is a no frills option. It's also their own, which is a nice touch. It doesn't include step counters and GPS. Some will appreciate the simplicity. Others will, you know, lament the fact that they can't do other things with the watch. But I really do like the fact that it is straightforward and simple. You know, maybe a countdown counter might have, you know, but again, alarms, stopwatch, super simple, super easy, and as I say, kind of what you might want. I don't know. I think it works well. It would have been nice though. I think, yeah, one of the things that I was thinking of is that I haven't been able to see yet is if there isn't an option for Eurovision date settings. So again, so you've got month before day, and many of us here in the UK sort of prefer it the other way round. I have seen some commentary on here around the pixelation or the number of pixels. And you've got a very clear example of it there with the T. The T is a little bit short. It's missing a spot in the middle. It's missing a bit on the tail, and the head as well is slightly short. The H, for some reason, is absolutely perfect. Now, I just wonder whether you can see there, you know, this T on the stopwatch as well. The S is a little bit short on either side. I'm wondering whether it's a case of the A and the L there, perfect, although the L is missing maybe one. I'm wondering if it's a case of getting used to, for example, like a new pair of hands on an automatic, whether it's, you know, cathedral versus needles or something, and whether in time you just get used to it. But as I say, a couple of commentary around that, did want to mention it. You can also get titanium, a full titanium bracelet that goes with these, but that does add another £175, $175, and that to me is a little bit too much. I mean, yes, I think the look of the titanium makes it more uniform. It looks very, very cool indeed. But I kind of see this being worn on a rubber strap, or even, you know, this just straightforward Velcro. I think it's absolutely perfect for what the watch is designed for. It does come then with Ultra Glow. So let me just show you what that looks like in the dark. Why am I got it on setting? 1 second. Sorry, I'd left it running in set mode there. As I was saying, you've got Ultra Glow as a backlight, you know, highlighting those digits. So I think in the dark, it actually almost reads better than it does in the daylight. Hard not to mention G-Shocks when you're talking about digital watches. And I like the fact when I was reading up about this that they've kind of decided to honour the heritage of G-Shock and Casio, I think, which is a nice touch. But at the same time, I think that they've kept their design sufficiently their own, and it's far enough away for them to be able to create their own space within a very busy digital watch world. Having watched the RZE brand from afar, I've no doubt that they'll be listening to feedback, and there will be a version 2 or derivatives in the future where they adapt and improve. Either this one or new digitals even, because that's just what the brand does, and they do it very well indeed. So as I say, it's not perfect, but it's so cool on wrist. It's priced to sell, and I think it's a great digital alternative that's got enough personality to stand out. So yeah, I'm really impressed with this thing. I think it's just a fun retro digi watch, but as I say, my preference would probably be going with a positive display. Anyway, those are my random thoughts as always. Over to you guys. While you're dropping the comments down below, do hit up First Class Watches. Let them know you come from the channel. I'm sure they'd love to hear from you. Thanks as always for your time and for your view, and we'll catch you in the next review. Cheers, guys.